Okay guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. I have a special gear review to do today. As you can see, I'm out at my cabin. My parents were just staying here a couple days before. They had appointments in the city or whatever, so they used my cabin, due to COVID. My sister and I, we're keeping our houses locked down pretty tight, so, and my parents are doing the same, so my cabin was a great place for them to stay. Anyways, she left me earlier, in the pandemic. She was bored and asking all the kids and grandkids and everything what they wanted and that kind of stuff. And I needed a new pair of mitts. 6 years ago, Boss kind of started the teardown process on my last gloves she made me, which were mink lined and black leather outside. Anyways, Boss, when he was young, he had a habit of trying to bite your hands off. I got him out of that before he was 9 or 10 months old, but my gloves suffered in the process. So I needed a new pair of really warm mitts, and my mom made me homemade raccoon mitts. And these are the big type that go over top of your jacket. These are the best thing. You're not going to be able to find these on Amazon. Nowhere on Amazon can you find these exact mitts made by this manufacturer, Mom. So they have raccoon on the outside, which is so nice when you're cold to be able to do this, and the real fur from an outdoor animal just instantly warms your face up, warms your ears up. They don't make good snot rags, so this is not that type of mitt. Inside, you've got beaver, real beaver fur. So it's you've even got the long hairs in there. You can see the red, and so that's real beaver on the inside, real raccoon on the outside. And when I had my trap line, I had mitts like this, exactly like this, except they were made all of beaver. I think the inside might have been rabbit or mink. I can't remember now. But it was double thumbed. It was meant for being on a skidoo. It was meant for having your hands soaking wet and then shoving them in here. And that's the biggest difference with these mitts, is that when you use real fur, your mitts can be your hands can be freezing cold, wet, covered in snow or ice. You shove them in here, and even though inside can be soaking wet, it will still warm your hands, and I mean warm. So I am super stoked about these. These are, I think these are the nicest ones that I've ever had, and I just love them. I am looking so forward to having these for many years. They last forever. This manufacturer doesn't cheap out, that's for sure. And we are coming into winter season. This is just perfect timing. It's almost Christmas. The wife and I and dogs are going to be out here for the Christmas season. We're going to probably go on the lake and go for walks, and there's just nothing better than to have these on your hands. So thank you very much, Mom. These are amazing. So, because I'm doing mitts, I am going to enter into the next gear review of mitts. This year I bought heated gloves. They were 2200 milliamp per glove battery. They were brand Savior, and they were a black glove. And I thought, well, these will be perfect for hunting. I will be able to have them on and just use them like my heated feet, where I can click a button on the mitt and the heat would turn on either high or low. And the first day it was like 0. It wasn't very cold, and I was doing a morning hunt, so my hands weren't cold early in the morning, but after it got bright enough, my hands were starting to get cold. So I hit the on buttons. Everything seemed great. They did heat up. It took a while to get the heat into the hands. What I noticed was the heat coils on those Savior gloves, the heat coils were on the top of the mitt, which makes sense. But whenever I get cold, I do this, right? You make fists and you get kind of cold and you tuck them in. Well, when you did that, you were pulling your hands away from the heat elements. So what I found I had to do was open my hands so that my skin was pushed against the top edge of these gloves. Anyways, it worked. It did heat my hands up. The battery life was terrible on those gloves. Absolutely terrible. It says they'll last 2.5 hours on high. Nuh-uh, not even close. And high didn't get very hot. The other thing is when I was hunting with them and it got cold, you might as well have had a bag of Doritos out there. Like just moving your fingers and the collar that goes out here was crunch, 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 crunch. They were so loud that I couldn't even have them on. I couldn't move. I couldn't even squeeze my fingers to grab my binoculars or rangefinder. You couldn't move with them on, or it was just making a racket that would scare any animal away. So those did not get a good review. And the last con of these Savior heated gloves, which were $160 by the way, the light, the button you turn on to high, medium, or low, or whatever it was, turns on a light. Well, during the day it didn't look so bad, but when I was using them early morning or late at night, like when sun was setting, it was like spotlights. It was like I could go and light up my whole blind on the inside. Like they were not right for hunting. Ice fishing, different story. I think they would be okay. I think they would be usable for ice fishing or even winter camping. However, the glove itself did not have very good insulation. So while you were moving and creating energy and creating heat, they were fine. They shielded your hands from the wind, but that's about it. Once you're sitting there doing nothing, or you're jigging, or you're sitting by the fire, the gloves, the main insulation in the gloves, aside from the heat option, were terrible. My hands got cold so quick in those gloves, and I had to have the heat on in order to keep my hands warm. And then I had spotlights on my top of my forearms, blinding the deer, and they were crinkling like I was opening a bag of Doritos. So although they will work for something that doesn't require you to be quiet, they didn't work great. And the battery life was terrible, and they were kind of annoying how bright those lights were on top. So the Savior heated gloves I returned right after hunting season, right after I got back to my house where I could, do the order, return online and stuff. I returned them right away. I thought about possibly giving them to the wife, but then I thought, you know what, these were $160. They're not worth that. They weren't even worth $50 to me. So these Savior gloves, don't buy them. They're junk. They're a waste of money. Good attempt, good idea, good theory. Bad execution, bad product, bad insulation in the glove. So don't buy those. But if you have a mom that can make mitts, get Raccoon and Beaver. They're the best. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.